on tight. This ain't no ordinary interlude. UFC's the battleground where warriors collide. Die Hard MMA podcast, we won't hide. Clint's gonna get deep, analyze each brawl from the underdogs to the champions standing tall. The fury, let your instincts rise. Feel the adrenaline rush, it's time to defy. Die Hard MMA, we're in it for the thrill. Get ready for the madness. Let's make that bankroll spill.
Degenerates, and welcome back to the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show. It's Friday, baby. We got fights tomorrow. This card is underrated, and I am ready. I am so ready for this card. You know, when we started breaking down UFC Seattle on Monday, I was stoked. I'm like, there's some opportunities on this card, and it's funny because I have just gotten more and more and more confident as the week has progressed. All right, we're coming off of a winning week finally, and last week the week before that we should have gotten a win, right? I messed up. I forgot to put a play in. If I had put that play in, it would have been a winning week. So like we're this close to being on like a 2-week win streak, and I'm starting to finally get the confidence back. The vibes are rolling, and I think I'm going to smash this card. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. If this is your first time joining me for the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show, we call it Undefeated for a reason. That's because we've made mistakes before. We've all made mistakes before, right? We can admit that, but never on this show. This show is undefeated. Never a bad read made on this show. Never a bad bet given out. Not on this show. This is the best damn MMA sports betting show on the planet. So get locked in, everybody. Do me a favor, smash that like button, get subscribed to the channel if you haven't, and make sure you've got your tinfoil cap ready to go, because I got some action for us here this week. Welcome into the chat. We've got Top Lord MMA. We've got Dylan. What's going on? Jake Varnish. We've got Dixon Sider, the It Factor MMA Dad Bob, Ethan Hershey hanging out here. Did you challenge me, Ethan? I missed it. I missed the challenge. I apologize. Okay, you're gonna have to repeat the stakes of this bet here, Ethan. It's been a little bit. Let me know what side you want. What side you want? Steven Jackson. We've got Mia. What's going on? T.H. Orlando. And we've got, let's see here, Game and Heavy. What's going on, buddy? Welcome into the show, everybody. We're going to take one final look at these fighters at UFC Seattle. We've broken these fights down. We've talked to our friends. We've got the mind trust, the brain trust together, and we've done all the hard work. Now I've taken a look at these fighters on the scale first thing in the morning for you, and also at the ceremonials, and I will make sure you all get the information you need. Who looked good? Who looked bad? Bad weight cut? Who rehydrated well? Who's got the mental edge in those stare downs? We're going to go over all of that here in this show, hoping to make sure you get every little bit of info you need to make some money at UFC Seattle. So let's get into it. Let me get these photos up here for you guys, because that's a new little wrinkle here to the show for you, as we've got photos. Ethan says, challenged you on Monday. I want Cejudo for 2 fireball shots, bro. Ooh, okay. Since we're doing text here, Ethan, I apologize. Just to make sure I can clarify here. So you want Cejudo, or I've got Cejudo. Who gets Cejudo here in this factor? Let me see here. He's looking for his crown back. Yeah, I've won the last couple of them. All right. While you're doing that, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing off. First fight of the night, Modestas Paucus takes on Rafael Sakara. We've got Modestas coming in at 203 pounds. Rafael Sakara comes in at 204 pounds. My guy Sakara looks locked in. I mean, for a guy who's supposed to be, getting close to 40, he looks pretty fantastic up there on the scales today. I'm not going to lie. Modestas Paucus, white as the day he was born, pale as the moon, but looks like he's in very good shape coming into this fight. He always is. That's nothing new here. What we've got, there's no face-off photo here for me. I forgot, because ceremonials, there's no face-off photo. I apologize. So we've got a spot here where Modestas Paucus got by the absolute worst fighter in the UFC at this weight class in his last fight. And I think everyone is just piling on him, ready to go to town with him, because they want to fade Sakara in his nut worst UFC debut. He could not have looked more pathetic. He makes his debut. He gets sparked on the first punch. He shells up and covers, and Ibo just never lets him off the hook. First round, first minute, TKO. Here's the thing, you guys. Modestas Paucus is big. He is lumbering. He is slow. So because of that, he does not have what Ibo Aslan has. He's never going to bite down on the mouthpiece and throw a 20-punch combo and just get you out of there. He will throw one or two and then back off, because that's the way he's built. He also is not very durable. So while Aslan doesn't have great cardio, Modestas Paucus, he doesn't have great durability. So he can't really firefight with these guys. And when he does, he ends up on the wrong side of it. I know a lot of people are looking for like the Modestas submission angle, because he got that in his last fight. But again, Marcin Prachniow is the worst guy in this weight class, you guys. He doesn't have any grappling skills to speak of. That was kind of a Hail Mary way for him to win that fight, because it was a lot harder on the feet than it was supposed to be. I think the lights were too bright for Rafael Sakara in his UFC debut. He's going to have a better showing in this one, and a lot of it is style matchup dependent. He's got a much easier opponent, someone who he's not going to be bum rush right out the gate. He's going to get comfortable. He'll have a second to collect himself. Modestas Paucus is not a guy you should be laying minus 250, minus 200 or higher on ever. And I think he's going to show that here in this fight. I got Rafael Sakara. We got him as a dog. I bet him earlier in the week. I like him to pull the upset off in this first fight of the night. And there's two angles I like as far as the finish here goes. I think he's going to knock out Modestas Paucus. Like I said, fragile. He doesn't have great durability right off the bat. That's the way I think Sakara is going to win this fight. However, if Modestas gets hurt and he doesn't quite get put away and they do end up in the grappling realm, you've got Sakara, who is a Jailton Almeida training partner, a BJJ black belt, and I think the submission could very, very much be live. I do think it could be live. So I like Sakara. I like Sakara inside the distance, but I'm just on the money line because, frankly, the money line is good enough. And yeah, Carrillo, no more up, down, funk. Okay, all right. Guys, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, is Uptown Funk a chick song? Like, did I miss this? I love Uptown Funk, all right? I grew up with parents where I was listening to 60s, 70s music 24/7. So Uptown Funk took me to my roots, man, took me to my soul. And I got more comments on my video. I did a short breaking down a fight, and I used Uptown Funk as the song for it. And I have never gotten backlash for using a song before. And the only comments were like, bro, no Uptown Funk. I'm like, nobody likes Uptown Funk? Like, it's a girl song? What? I need to know. Get in the chat and let me know. Is Uptown Funk off limits? Because Carrillo is giving me shit for it. Steven says it's pretty fruity. Okay. I made a mistake, apparently. I made a mistake. All right. Ethan says he wants Cejudo. All right, Ethan. Two shots on the line. I'll stick with my gut here. I'll take the shot bet. You can have Cejudo. I'll take Song Yadong. No, I love you too, Carrillo. I know. It's all fun. We're good. K Deep, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. What's going on? Gambling heavy. What's going on? Okay. If it's just Bruno Mars more than the song, because I'm like, artist's gonna be artist, man. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of song where the beat, I'm just like, yeah, it just gets me every time. I can't help it. All right. Moving right along, the next fight up, we've got Eric McConico taking on Nursultan Frontziboev. Both guys came in at 184 pounds. Eric looked pretty good for being an old man up there. Frontziboev moving up a weight class. Looks like he filled out pretty well. Man, that kid is skinny, though. He's skinny. Radzaboev still has a massive height advantage. Moving up a weight class, back up to 185. Wait a second. I'm saying back up to 185. Did he fight Buckley at 170 or did he fight him at 185? Now I'm mixing myself up. It's been too long since I looked at this. Bear with me 1 second. I got to just double check that. Okay, it was at 170. I'm not going crazy. It was a 170 fight. So yeah, he's moving up to 185 here, and he's still going to have just a massive height and reach advantage here in this spot. You guys know I want to fade the ever-living crap out of Nursultan Radzaboev, but the speed advantage he's going to have in this fight, that is just something that we can't look past. He is not very good, okay? But he's fast. He has really nice uppercuts. So like when he does like go with the straight punches and opponents like shell and roll a little bit, he does change up to the uppercuts very well. He's had some success with that. And then he does have some submissions. And a buddy of mine talked to me about the submission prop this week. Shout out my guy VB MMA. The submission prop for Nursultan Radzaboev is like plus 225. And you look at his record, and this is where it gets a little bit deceiving. If you haven't run the tape, I think a lot of people might get caught by this. He's got 20 subs on his record. 20. He's got 12 KOs. So you think, okay, he's more of a grappler than he is a knockout artist, right? The trick here, guys, the only sub that he has is a Kimura, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. He's got a couple chokes. He's got a couple arm bars, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know. But really, it's the Kimura. This guy attacks Kimuras, and it's his takedown defense. He goes to his back, and he attacks your arm immediately. He uses that to sweep and to get up on top of you, and most of these bums he's been fighting don't know how to defend it, so he ends up actually getting it. Now, at the UFC level, you're not going to get very many Kimuras. It'll happen every once in a while, but you've got to be extraordinarily more powerful than your opponent to be able to pull that off at this level, so it's just not going to happen very often. The catch to me here is I don't think Eric's ever going to get the takedown on him. The submission comes off of his back. So for him to win by sub, he's got to get taken down and chase that Kimura. I think he's just going to clean the clock of Eric McConico. Like this guy, Nursultan Radzaboev, his ground and pound is so nasty. When he hurts somebody, he's got great killer instincts, and his right hand is his moneymaker. He immediately starts doing this thing. Like he will not let you off the hook if he gets you hurt and he gets on top of you. So I think he's going to rock this guy early. I just think he's going to KO him easily. I think he's going to be way too fast. Nursultan Radzaboev KO plus 140. That's the look that I like. I think it's going to be a round 1 KO. Now, if this fight gets extended, obviously, we know Radzaboev falls apart the longer the fight goes. So easy live entry on Eric McConico if you like that side or if you want to hedge off or something like that. I'm never going to try to tell you guys that you should put your hard-earned money on Nursultan Radzaboev, especially at this kind of a price tag. He is way too big of a favorite. He's knocking on the door of minus 300 at this point. I wouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, this is a guy that they're basically signing off the street for him to come fight to get on track. So everyone wants to fade him after the Buckley fight. Buckley would whoop this guy's ass. Like, it's not going to be competitive. Nursultan Radzaboev is going to knock him out, and he's probably going to do it early. Let's see here. Hey, Tony Stacks, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat. Nicholas, what is going on? How we doing? Let's see. Canadians for Cup. What a name that is, especially after you guys winning the game. That was cool. The four nations face off was really freaking cool. Let's see here. Streamline Gaming says, I don't get the take on him being a fraud. Dude is good. You see, that's the thing. He's not that good though. Like he looks good against low-level opponents. I don't think his game is going to translate well against UFC caliber opposition. So that's why I call him a fraud. That's why I say, he's not very good. I think he's going to get outed the higher up he goes. And it'll just like what happened with Buckley. You know what I mean? It's just as he climbs up the rankings, his game is not going to work. So maybe he'll improve. He's 31 years old. I wouldn't expect tons of improvement, which is why, again, I think he's a fraud. But you never know. Maybe he improves and he catches up and he does fine. But against guys like this, he should steamroll guys like this. Jeffrey saying, let's make some cash. Indeed, let's make some cash. Last week was fun. Let's do that. David asking, what fight am I looking forward to the most? That's a good question. I think I'm going to have to go with Milsic Baghdasaryan and Gene Silva. Like that fight should just be a war. That should be an absolute war. Technical, fun, upside of a finish. Two guys that just want to absolutely blast each other in the face. Like that's going to be a fun fight. I'm here for that. Max saying MVP of gambling pots. That's what's up. Appreciate you, Mac. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up, we have got Mr. VanZant making his way to the UFC finally. Comes in at 174 pounds. His opponent, Nikolai Vernikov, comes in at 175. Now, Austin Vanderford, very intriguing that he's getting signed at this point in his career. Like, he fought on Dana White's Contender Series, and he won by submission, and for some reason didn't get signed. Very strange to me that he didn't get signed initially. He got some L's over in PFL Bellator, and now at 34 years old, they're bringing him into the UFC. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't understand it. Nikolai Vernikov has a big height advantage. When these two faced off, I was not expecting him to be quite that big. I will be completely honest with you guys. I still have not had time to do my due diligence here on Nikolai Vernikov. I know I've looked at him before, but he's only had one UFC fight, so I'm not overly perfectly familiar with him. I know he's a banger. I know he's got heavy hands. He's more of a knockout artist than anything, but I don't have like the techniques. I can't talk to you about what he does well. I'm just not overly familiar with him. Austin Vanderford, on the other hand, I know how good this guy is from watching him in the PFL and stuff like that, as far as his grappling goes. But if you're getting knocked out by guys like Aaron Jeffrey, which, I like Aaron Jeffrey, but Gegard Mousasi, that dude's a beast. Getting knocked out by Gegard Mousasi, no problem. I'm not worried about it. But, Aaron Jeffrey is like, he's kind of struggling over there in the PFL Bellator a little bit. I'm not sure he's going to do so great in the UFC. I think he's going to have to wrestle. I know Nikolai Vernikov can be had a little bit in the grappling realm. He can be taken down. But if he doesn't get the takedowns going early, 34-year-old Austin Vanderford, who's been knocked out twice already, he easily could get clipped here. This is a fight that I think is super volatile. I'm going to go ahead and pick Austin Vanderford for the win. I will say that he gets a decision. I think it's going to kind of take everything he's got to get by Vernikov. And like I said, this fight, you know what? Let me switch hats here for you guys real quick. This fight is just super weird. Like, Austin Vanderford, I don't know why he's getting signed at this point. There's so many other fighters that are getting let go by the PFL and Bellator while they're compiling those rosters. Why Vanderford? Like, what's he going to do for us at this point? I know we all love Paige VanZant, right? She did Dana White a couple of favors. She's doing Power Slap, but I just don't understand what Vandy brings to the table at this point. So he could easily be a lamb to slaughter in this spot against an opponent here in Vernikov, who's a much more exciting fighter. But at the same time, Vernikov's a 35-year-old guy. He's no prospect either. Like, I don't know if this is a favor to Paige or if they really like Vanderford, or if this is just, he could be basically a Dana White's Contender Series fill-in type of guy, where they're like, you know what? We've got a fight that we got to book for another guy. We need a body. Get in here, kid. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just not sure what to expect from this one. Not having a good read on it. Can't do a whole lot there for you guys. I'll do some research tonight. I'll try to dig in here on Vernikov and see what I come up with, but more than likely passing. Walla Dose. Haven't seen that name in a minute. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. JHK, what is going on, my guy? Let's see. UFC approach to signing fighters is unstable, to say the least. You best believe it, my guy. It has been really random lately what they've been deciding to do as far as this roster goes. Borderline confusing. Let's see. Vanderford has a baby chin. Yeah. Korean John saying everybody hating on Austin Vanderford because PVZ, nothing to do with fighting. No. I just call him Mr. VanZant because it's funny. I'm not hating on the guy. Don't worry about it. I'm not giving him too much shit there. I actually like his wrestling skills, but it'll be interesting to see how long he survives at the UFC. I'm just not sure he's cut for it. You know what I mean? There's a difference between liking the guy and being able to compete at the highest level. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. The next fight that I want to talk to you about here is going to be Javid Basharat. He takes on Ricky Simone. Now, Javid is one of these tall, lanky, skinny type of dudes. You can see he's got the Skeletor face thing going on. Very sucked out. His opponent, Ricky Simone, also a little pale, little discolored there on the scale today. We know it's kind of a tough cut for him. You can see the cheeks kind of getting sucked out there, but my God, he's got a jaw on him, that guy. This was a really fun face-off. These guys are kind of getting into it with each other. You can see there's a bit of a level of disrespect from Javid Basharat. He's kind of like pumping the jab almost at him, and Ricky Simone just kind of smiling and talking at him. This is a really intriguing fight to me, you guys. We've got Ricky Simone, who has taken a lot of money recently, and I put in a call, and I talked to my guy Andrew from Superbook Sports, who you guys know we do the Sharp Action Report on the UFC pay-per-view cards. The big guy bet Ricky Simone. And that's really the reason for this market move. This number was up around plus 220. He's sitting around plus 180 these days. And that's because the big guy went ahead and came in and laid the hammer on him. So we've got some serious sharp action on the Ricky Simone side of things for this fight. Now, I actually debated betting Ricky Simone myself in this spot, and I decided to chicken out. What I did was I bet this spread. If you guys have access to DraftKings, if you've got Bet Online set up, it's that plus 3.5 spread. That's what I decided to go with on Ricky Simone, because we know Javid Basharat, even when he wins, it's a decision. He's not a finisher. He's not a guy that's going to get a big knockout. You're not submitting Ricky. Like, we know that. He's a good enough grappler. So I expect this to be a competitive fight. Maybe it's a bit of a changing of the guard. Maybe Javid Basharat gets on track here and does what he needs to do. But I'm just not sold that he's much better than anything we've seen. He always gives away around. He always fights close. Nothing that he does stands out or shocks you or makes a huge impression on the judges. So I just need Ricky to win one round. So Ricky Simone plus 3.5 at minus 140. That's the bet that I am on. If he wins the fight outright, obviously, I'll be a little sad I didn't play plus 220, but I'll take the I'll take the money on the spread. And then if he gets robbed on a split decision or something like that, I'm safe. So I feel a whole lot better than that. Real quick, guys, if you missed out on this move, one of the best things that you can do to chase that kind of steam, Bet Openly. You guys know they're my sponsor. You guys know we've been rocking with them for a very long time. You're going to pay 1% juice on the transactions when you bet with Bet Openly, rather than laying minus 110 or big juice spreads where it's like a minus 300 favored and a plus 240 underdog. The numbers are going to be equal on both sides. Javid Basharat minus 199, Ricky Simone plus 199. So you're going to get a better number no matter what side of the deal you are on. If you missed the move, if you still like Ricky Simone and you're sad because it's plus 180 or plus 175 and you wanted that plus 200, you can still get that using Bet Openly. So use the link in the description below here and go ahead and get in there on Bet Openly. You can find a better number on no matter who you want to bet on over on that site. Okay, let me get caught up here with the chat. AJ, chill, AJ, chill, bunk. Yeah, Canadians saying Ricky Blonde is sort of hype. I'm not sure how to feel about it. Like, all these guys going blonde, I thought that was a Brazilian thing, and now it's kind of bleeding over. Everybody else is starting to do it too. So, man, I don't know. Yeah, what's up, Jim? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Money says blonde Ricky gets it done. Yeah. John is asking, when was the last time someone went blonde and then lost a fight? It doesn't happen. Locked up. Absolutely. The one thing I'll say, though, I can't remember who it was. Who was it? One of these Brazilian kids with kind of a little bit longer hair went blonde, and he got busted up and his hair turned red because all the blood was like seeping into the hair, and it made it worse, like visually speaking, because when he got hit, it was like a Rocky movie where like, rah, like the hair and the blood and the sweat's all flying and it was all red. So it looked so much worse. As long as Ricky doesn't get cut. If he doesn't get cut, the white hair will look good. Yes, thank you, Dixon. Elvis Brenner, that's what it was. Because I swear, it looked just, visually speaking, it was like, oh, they're going to stop this fight, bro. Like, he looks like he's getting absolutely destroyed because blood was just flying everywhere. It was awful. So, yeah, it can backfire. It can backfire in a hurry. But I think we give Ricky Simone, blonde Ricky, a shot here. I think he, if he doesn't get it done, he at least competes. And that's where I think the spread bet is actually probably a really safe way to look on it. Question coming in from Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Philly and Costa, who win? We will be talking about that one in just a moment. We got one more fight before that one. We'll get to it. The next one up, guys, is Mansur Abdul Malik taking on Nick Klein. Nick Klein, this guy's got a chip on his shoulder, man. This boy's got some farm strength. Like, he is angry and he's out here to prove a point. I like this kid. a lot. Now, Mansur had a bit of a rough cut here, you guys. As you can see, mouth hanging wide open. I mean, I got to think he was praying up there. Like, he was like talking to himself or like having some kind of a mantra. Like, guys do that when they struggle. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to weigh-ins. Guys do that when they struggle. So he was having a real hard time making weight today. The thing that surprised me about this one is when they face off, these guys size up extremely well. Mansur is huge. Mansur is massive. So I expected him to have a decent little height advantage on this spot. He doesn't. They size up almost perfectly. And then camera zooms out. Mansur had shoes on. Nick Klein did not. Nick Klein's a big boy. Like, he's going to be bigger than Mansour when they shut that cage door tomorrow. It doesn't look like he should be, but when he gets in there, he will be, because Mansour was spotted about an inch with those shoes. I mean, that one's making me sweat, you guys. And yeah, money saying minus 1350 is crazy. Orlando, I completely agree with you. Mansour by elbow, Shadow Realm KO should be the move. Should be the move. I think that's going to be the result. He's a very good defensive wrestler. He's got good cardio. He's got good defensive abilities, and he hits like a freaking truck. He's also built like an Adonis. God sculpted this guy himself. I think Mansour is also going to get the win. However, when you get a kid with a chip on his shoulder and that farm strength like Nick Klein does, that just gives zero fucks and refuses to die and just wants to drag your ass through hell and hope you can come out the other side, that goes places sometimes. And at this number, it's crazy. I've always told everybody, guys, please do not parlay this guy. Don't do it. This is Peyton Talbot in the making. Like, we can't get to this kind of a number on this guy when he's this unproven. Nick Klein is a guy who can put this kid through the ringer. And if he can get his grappling going, all those big muscles, they have attacks. He will eventually get tired. And if that happens, Nick is not a guy you want to be stuck under if you get tired. So I'm just saying. I'm picking Mansour to win as well. But minus 1350, that's crazy. That's crazy. Nick Klein, plus 800. Size advantage. Oh, maybe the round 2, round 3 props at stupid numbers. Like, I mean, that's some degenerate stuff right there. I'm trying to tighten up, you guys. I'm trying to tighten up. That's the kind of stuff I shouldn't be getting talked into. But after watching Peyton Talbot go down, anything can happen. We'll see. I don't have a bet on it at this point. I don't have a bet on it at this point. But I will be looking for the live wager, you guys. This is one to keep your very close eye on for live wagers, because if Mansour starts to breathe heavy, if that mouth starts to drag and hang open, if Nick takes 1 or 2 of those big punches and keeps on coming, live entry, jump on in live. Dixon saying, do you have Peyton Talbot stress disorder? Yes, I do, Dixon. Now, thankfully, I'm smart enough not to have parlayed him that night. But I did live bet him because I was getting like plus 150 going into round 3. I still thought he was going to find a way to get the kill shot. So I did lose a little bit of money on that fight, but he's also just like my stud. He's my number 1 prospect, right? So I was pretty sad to see him get his O taken on that one. Steven Jackson saying on this card, mainly chalky favorites. Which one do you think has the best approach to make money? I will go over all my action at the end, Steven. I'm talking through the fights right now. I'll let you know where my money is. So far, I don't believe I have any action on any of these fights except for that Ricky Simone plus 3.5 spread. As always, you guys, I am a degenerate. I am not a professional. So tail or fade accordingly. You know, I have not had a good year. I'm starting to come out of it right now. I'm starting to find my footing. But I don't endorse anybody directly tailing me just in general, unless you have good bankroll management, some expendable income, you're along for the ride, you're ready for some swings, because that's how I play the game, right? So everything with a grain of salt, my man. This is a card that is very, very dangerous. I will say that. I lean to a lot of underdogs on this card. I think underdogs are very live on this card. But let's keep it rolling. Next up, you have got the requested Melqueza Costa taking on Andre Touchy Feely. Costa looking really good up there. Love the purple hair. I like he changes it up from time to time. Feely, business as usual for this man. It is never a problem really for him to make weight. He's been doing it freaking forever. I like this fight, you guys. I like this fight a lot. We got a line flip in this one too. When these guys faced off, Melqueza Costa is ever so slightly the larger fighter here in this one, and it's his second fight down at 145 pounds. He did take a little bit of a moonlight trip up there to fight Steve Garcia at 155 and got nuked, so brought him right back down. He's going to have a size advantage here, but the big thing for me, guys, Andre Feely doesn't know how to win fights. And I know that sounds crazy. He's been around forever. He's fought the who's who. He's fought absolutely everybody, but 34 years old. In his last 4 wins, 3 of them are by split decision. Let that sink in for a second. He's either losing or he's going to a split. So he is not distancing himself. He is not making any kind of separation in these fights. So yes, he might get his hand raised, but oh boy, are you sweating it. And there's always one judge that thinks he didn't win it. I mean, his last fight, he got robbed blind against Cub Swanson because he let the fight be close. I think Melqueza Costa is getting better, whereas Feely, he's just kind of staying around the same. He's 34, so like that cliff is coming. Eventually, he's going to get old. Eventually, he's going to regress. His tricks are going to run out. Whereas a 28-year-old kid getting better every single time he gets out there, training at shoot the box, like I like this kid. I really like Melquiades Costa, and I'm very tempted to bet him here. Minus 120, it looks like. And again, he opened up the ever so slight dog. This line flipped. I'm seeing nothing but love for Andre Fili, and yet this line keeps on pushing further and further towards Melquiades Costa, which if you're a gambling man, woman, lady, or whatever, that should be a red flag. If you look at like the Tapology votes, for example, which you can't always play it this way, but in this kind of a spot where it's a coin flip, 77% of the vote is for Andre Fili to win. But the market is telling you that Costa should be the favorite, and in fact, he should be a larger favorite than what he is. So people who are putting their hard-earned money, actually willing to risk it on this fight, are saying, no, Costa's the side. So I'm looking very closely at Melquiades Costa. I do think the submission is very, very live. Looking at his last fight, he went the full 15 minutes with Shailan, took his back, choked him out. He's getting better, and it looks like he's patched up the cardio issues we thought he might have had earlier in his career. He looked very fresh going into round 3. I'm not sure if that's work effort. I don't know if that's experience. I don't know if that's new vitamins, but whatever it is, I don't think he has the same issues that he had before. And touchy-feely doesn't hit nearly as hard as a guy like Steve Garcia. So could get hairy early, but I think it's going to be competitive and could be a split decision. I could see a late finish for Melquiades if this thing gets into the grappling realm. I think he's slicker there. Tempted on the young kid. Rick the Ruler says he likes Fili at the dog price, and I get it. I can't argue with it too much, but I think it'll be very, very close. Jim agreeing with me here somewhat. Canadian saying Klein equals Uncle Chael. I'm not that good on the mic. AJ saying call 800 Gambler if you have a gambling problem. You know what? That always is worth saying, because if you do have a gambling problem, you definitely should. And how dare you? Da Real Deal says Clint's no. This show is undefeated, Daryl. You get that straight. Don't be trying to spread those heinous lies in my chat. This is the undefeated post weigh-in show. I've gotten stuff wrong on Monday. Never on this show. Not once. Let's see here. Zia Can says, I saw you at UFC 311. I fly from Toronto back up my boy Umar. Didn't work. Oh, dang. Well, hey, that was cool, though. If you saw me at UFC 311, I'm trying to remember. I'm so sorry. That was a while ago. I'm really sad that Umar didn't get the win there. That was a big night for me, and that was unfortunate. I lost a lot that night. I am in the hole with my futures bets because of that, unfortunately. All right, guys, moving it along. Do me a favor, please hit the like button if you haven't. Give the show a share out on social media if there's a spot that you like on this card. Just help me out. Share the show. Next up, you've got Aibo Aslan, and he is taking on UFC staple Ion Cutelaba, our favorite wild man, the Hulk himself, always looking good up on the scale. Definitely a guy that's got a future in Hollywood as like a villain that, somebody can kickbox at the end of a movie. I like Ion Cutelaba. This one's another pick'em style fight, you guys. Aibo Aslan is the new hotness. They're trying to give him a win over a notable name, a guy who's been up and down in the UFC. Aibo is minus 185. Ion Cutelaba plus 155 at this point. I know a lot of very smart, intelligent people who I respect that are taking the shot on Ion Cutelaba, and I get it. This was a very intense face-off. No Green Hulk, unfortunately. I like Ion Cutelaba when he goes full Hulk mode up there. Aibo is slightly larger, and I mean slightly, like very slightly larger, but he's just a little bigger everywhere. You know what I mean? Bigger shoulders, a little bit taller, slightly larger frame. Both guys trying to get into each other's head. It was a classic Ion Cutelaba face-off. It's always fireworks when Ion gets up there to face off with somebody. I am struggling with this one because I can see the cardio issues for Aibo Aslan. I bet Anton Turkalj against this guy. I bet the Pleasure Man against this guy, because if you extend him into round 2, round 3, he's just not the same guy. He kind of falls apart a little bit in those later rounds. The cardio isn't great. The defensive wrestling isn't great. His stand-up game, it's getting better. It's getting there. But Ion Cutelaba is a very strong, very powerful, very explosive wrestler. If he wants to go to the grappling here, I actually think he can take this guy down. And we have seen Ion Cutelaba finish people from there, whether it be ground and pound or a submission. I could see a round 2, round 3 finish from Ion once this kid gets tired, but I just can't shake the feeling that Ion's going to run into something big first. You know, Ion likes to bite down on the mouthpiece and swing. We've seen him get backed up, and he does have that look of panic in his eyes sometimes when that happens. He's not a very good nail. When he's not being the hammer, it just doesn't turn out very well. And Ibo is a round 1 KO monster. I think as he gets older, as he kind of matures into this fight game, I expect him to take it just a little bit slower, generally speaking. And if he doesn't blow his wad early on, he'll be a little fresher in round 2. And I think he's going to be dangerous throughout this fight. I don't trust Ibo Aslan at minus 180, you guys. I'll tell you that. This is where the difference between picks and bets. I'm going to pick Ibo Aslan to win this fight, but I cannot get there with my money. Can't trust him with my cash. Not gonna do it. What's up, JB? Did JB's show last night, you guys? It was a fun time. Make sure you support the guy. Check him out as well. Rick the Ruler saying he's not 6'3", and you're right. These guys size up very well, so they're definitely overestimating his height there just a little bit. Got a couple of Chama comments in here. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are trolling me because I bet against him or if we're just shouting him out. Either way, I'm cool with it, but not sure where all the Chamas are coming from. He's not fighting this weekend. No Pereira this weekend, guys. Wrong fight. Oh, Capital saying watching you live from my hot tub. Let's go. I wish I was doing the show live from a hot tub. That would be great. John saying Kutalaba is like a grenade with the pen out. Unpredictable, wildly destructive. That is a great comparison, John. I like that. Let's see. Round 2 or round 3 TKO for an Ibo Aslan FanDuel is plus 1,000. Interesting. All right. Let's go. Okay. Next fight up. And maybe, I said my most exciting fight was the Gene Silva fight, right? But this is the one I might be like legitimately looking forward to the most just because I like the prospect here. We've got my guy, Juicebox, coming in here, taking on Alonzo Manfield. This is Julius Walker, you guys. Looked good. Looked real good up there. Athletic build, big, tall, and bigger than I expected. Alonzo Manfield, what happened to this man? I mean, so he's always been just like a muscly brick shithouse, but this is very notably not as puffy Alonzo Manfield. Like, look at that. He is not sporting abs. He's got a little bit of a roll there on his stomach. The muscles in his arms aren't quite as defined. We've seen his chest basically just like the muscles ripping out of his skin before. He does not look like he's taking this fight seriously. Honestly, you guys, what this weigh-in is giving me throwbacks to is just last week when we saw Walter Walker come in career best shape, and Dante Mays looked like he wasn't interested. Dante Mays looked like it was the worst he'd ever been in shape-wise. That's the vibe I'm getting here from Alonzo Manfield. He does not look motivated, and I am going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of tinfoil capness here on this one. Alonzo Manfield did an interview this week, and a lot's been made of how Alonzo Manfield is no longer trading at Fortis MMA. Now, some people not that high on Fortis. They think it's a good thing that he would leave. Some people think it's bad that he's leaving his coaches. And, I was of the mind that, what, if you're getting away from your coaching staff, you're getting away from the people that brought you to the dance. Younger fighters, if you need to mix it up, if you need to expand your horizons, totally could be a good thing, right? But an older fighter, somebody like this who's 37 years old, makes you wonder why you're leaving at that stage of your career, right? It's not like you're going to turn over a new leaf somewhere else, generally speaking, more often than not. You're not going to really completely revitalize your game doing something differently somewhere else. I don't know. So I had some questions about it. I also thought if he's going to like a smaller place, if he's starting his own gym, if he's doing a backyard type of place, you're losing all those professional bodies that you're used to training with, and maybe somebody won't push you the way they would push you before at your home gym. So could be a negative. He does this podcast or his interview, and he's talking about how he went somewhere else and he just went, you know what? I've got this at home. So he literally left his home, went to go change it up, and was uncomfortable. And he was talking about like pushing his boundaries and making himself uncomfortable and being uncomfortable. And as soon as he felt that way, he packed it up and went back home. He's like, nope, I got this at home. So he turned around and went home. And now he looks like he's in the worst shape of his career. And he refused to leave his comfort zone. And he's taking on a 6-0 undefeated kid in Juicebox Walker, making his UFC debut. Somebody who they like as a prospect who was not signed off Dana White's Contender Series, just straight up signed to the UFC. That's the sign to me these days that it's a prospect that they're taking relatively seriously, because they're not putting him through the ringer. They're saying, come on in, kid, you got a spot, right? Juicebox is 25 years old, and guys, he's massive. So one of the things that's been kind of worrying me, I already made my bet. I jumped in way too early. I got 2 units at plus 170 on Juicebox, and I wasn't sure where the line was going to go. You never know what the market is going to make of Alonzo Manfield. So I got in early. I should have waited. He's plus 200 now. I got massively reverse line movement here, and I'm considering adding more now that the number went the other way. He is massive. Juicebox was towering over Alonzo Manfield. This kid is athletic. He's got great cardio. He's very long. He's improving. His ground and pound is nasty. And Alonzo Manfield, we know he can get tuckered out. This guy gets tired really easily. He gives it a good go for the first 2 minutes or so. And unless he can get on top of you and get like a Von Prussia choke or something like that, he usually fades out the deeper the fight goes. He's coming off back-to-back KO losses. None of this is good for Alonzo Manfield. But I was looking at Juicebox and being like, man, he's a little skinny. Like, I'm not like as high as I am on this guy. I think he's a little skinny. And then when he faced off with Alonzo Manfield, it was like, oh, that's why he's skinny. He's a foot taller than Alonzo Manfield. He's so much larger than I expected him to be, you guys. This is why we do this show. This is why we watch the face-offs, because the numbers sometimes lie, or they're exaggerated to make fighters feel good about themselves. He is so much larger than Alonzo Manfield, and it's not something I was expecting, and it makes me feel great about my bet on him, because now he's going to have height and reach advantages that, frankly, in my mind, when I'm running through how this fight plays out, those weren't there. Now I've got more advantages on the guy that I like, and the number is better. So hell yeah, give me Juicebox, baby. Let's freaking go. Embrace another trauma. What is that? Another trauma. What are you guys doing to me here? Rick the Ruler saying Fortis is good for grappling. I think he could be tough and get a takedown, at least in the first. And yeah, Rick, I agree with you. I actually think that Walker could get put on his back early in this fight, but the thing is, he never quits. He just never stops. This guy's got a motor on him. He was a basketball player, so the cardio is like through the roof for this weight class. Guys, I think it's a round 2, round 3 TKO. I think he's going to put this guy down. I think as this fight gets extended, he's just going to make Manfield carry his weight eventually. He does a lot of clinching. He does a lot of grinding up against the fence. And when Alonzo starts to tire out, eventually he'll get dumped and end up on bottom. And then this guy's ground and pound is filthy. It's nasty. I think he's going to TKO him. I really do. And the reason I'm not waiting for the live bet, though, is because he could do it early. What we're seeing from Manfield, being out of shape, coming off back-to-back KO losses, like, it could be quick. It doesn't necessarily have to come later. So that's why, by the way, that's why I am playing it early instead of playing it late. And yeah, Money Mauler saying 12-year age gap. Exactly. I know heavyweight, light heavyweight, these guys can last a whole lot longer. You can definitely string your career out because you just need your power to hang in there, and then you're usually pretty good. But that 10-year age gap is kind of the sweet spot. We got a 12-year age gap. Like, this kid is legit, and he's taking on one of the worst guys in the weight class, who is on a skid, who is out of shape seemingly, and maybe close to hanging it up. Like, I love Juicebox this week, you guys. I've already got a bet on him. That's my thing. I did Sakara. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I bet Sakara. So I've got 2 dogs. I've got Rafael Sakara. I've got Juicebox. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Juicebox. If you guys don't know the nickname, Walker. So you can, if you guys want to actually put money on him, Walker against Manfield. And then I've got Ricky Simone spread plus 3.5. That's my action so far this week. That's where I'm at. All right, moving it along. Melsik Bagsarian, 145 pounds, taking on Gene Silva of the Fighting Nerds, 145.5. And my goodness, these guys look good. Both these guys are just ready to go. They size up extremely well. Melsik Bagsarian ever so slightly the larger man, but that's not something I'm concerned with Gene Silva, because we just saw Gene Silva move up to 155 pounds and beat the brakes off a guy like Drew Dober. So if there was ever somebody you could put in like the pound for pound conversation, I'm not calling him like pound for pound best or anything like that, but obviously he has no problems moving up a weight class, and his power and his ferocity translates against people that are larger than him. So I don't think that's a problem if Gene Silva is just slightly the smaller man here in this spot. The number's crazy to me, as always. Gene Silva's about a minus 500 favorite in most places. You can get Melsik Bagsarian for plus 370-ish out there. Again, listen to that split. It's a whole $1 difference. You guys should be checking out Bet Openly, spots like that. You'll get a much more reasonable line on both sides of that. But I just think this is going to be a kickboxing match with violent intent on both sides of it. Melsik, we talked about it on Monday, guys. If you missed the Monday show, it's a good thing I'm doing this Friday show here for you. Melsik Baghdasaryan had I believe, a labrum tear is what we talked about. He pulled out with an injury and he actually had a tear. We looked at the timeline and it takes about a full calendar year, generally speaking, for someone to recover from that injury. So he may not be 100%. And if he's not 100% going up against Gene Silva, that is a problem, right? I like Gene Silva. I actually kind of think Gene Silva by decision, maybe. Like, I know Melsik gets a little tired. He has been submitted twice. The grappling really is the hole in his game. And I would say I think Gene Silva can take advantage of that hole. Gene Silva definitely is a guy who's got grappling chops, but he prefers to work with his hands. You guys, we've talked about this a couple of different times, right? There's certain fighters where it's like, they could submit you and they just choose not to. If they get on top of you on the ground, they're not looking for a choke. They're just going to keep hammering you with their fists. That's Gene Silva. This guy could tap out anybody he wanted to. He chooses not to. He wants the blood on his knuckles. So I fully expect Gene Silva to go for a KO if he's going to do anything in this fight. So if he's not getting a sub, there's a chance this thing gets extended. I think Gene Silva round 2, round 3 kind of makes some sense here in this spot, but the books are wise to that, and you're not getting good numbers. Silva round 2 is plus 350. Silva round 3 is plus 550. Those are gross. You got to get even money or minus 105 for the knockout prop, even just to play it straight by itself. So this is one I'm steering clear of just because they've made it difficult to bet. There's not a lot of value anywhere, I don't think. I don't like the minus 500 price tag. One thing I did get tempted by, though, is, again, we're talking about these spreads, right? It's a new wrinkle to the game here. The Gene Silva minus 3.5 is minus 265. Now that sounds gross, right? So he has to get at least 130-27 judges scorecard to cover that. It has to be enough that he wins by 4 judges scorecards if it goes to a decision, or he's got to finish for that spread to cover. The thing is, I kind of think that happens, right? Like, this fight sets up where it could be a 29-28 type of fight, but we see all the time now that a rogue judge just goes out there and 30-27s for the side that they like. We see it almost every single week. And if Gene Silva is out there trading with Melsik and one of those rounds is close, I would rather be on the Gene Silva side than on the Melsik side. And then that also encompasses any kind of finish you might get in those later rounds. So I don't love that price tag, obviously, but I was thinking about parlaying it. Like, if there's a lower confidence 2-legger parlay that you want to do, the minus 3.5 on Gene Silva is cheaper than the money line. And then it gets the decision equity in there and the finish equity in there. So, like, for example, if you were going to use Fluffy Hernandez, we'll talk about that fight in a minute. Money line parlay with Gene Silva is minus 180. But if you do the minus 3.5 spread money with the Fluffy Hernandez money line, it's minus 128. It's just a whole lot more affordable. So maybe that's getting too fancy. You know, maybe that's the kind of thing where you don't get that 30-27 scorecard and you end up losing instead of winning. It could burn you, but it definitely is a more attractive price to me. So I'm picking Gene Silva, you guys. I'm not getting off this train. I think he's here to stay. I think he's the best the Fighting Nerds have. I'll be honest with you. I know he's not like the captain of the team, but he should be, because he's the best one out there. Next up, that's the wrong slide there, buddy. We have got Gene Matsumoto, another Gene, taking on Rob Font. Now, kid looks good on the scales. Little sucked out, obviously. Rob Font, he looks a little rough, but he's a little older. He always does. Bald Rob Font, almost 40 years old. What are you going to do? Can't help us. These old guys, right? Font has a decent height advantage. Gene actually looked a little smaller than I expected him to here. I'm kind of surprised by this line move. Early in the week, I thought I was going to like Rob Font, and I still kind of think it's tough because Rob Font has such a good jab, and we saw that really mess up Gene in his last fight. But Rob Font also has like 40% takedown defense, and I think Gene is smart enough to go out here and wrestle. With the extra weight on him with this catch weight, there's a little debate as far as who it benefits, right? Gene Matsumoto, we know he can wrestle, but is he coming in with that intent in this fight? If he doesn't and he gets behind the jab of Rob, You bust them up a little bit, make it hard to breathe out of your nose. That can change the entire game plan. This is a very volatile fight to me. I would feel a lot better about Gene Matsumoto if the number was closer to pick'em. I was hoping we would get to the point where we got to pick'ems, and then I was considering taking Gene Matsumoto. I am picking him to win this fight. I do think this is a test that he can pass, but he's got to have the right game plan, and he's got to fight it perfectly. I understand everybody taking the plus money shot on Rob Font. He's already done this before where he's turned back these prospects that got a little too big for their britches. But coming off a win, he hasn't gotten 2 wins back to back in a long time. We've got an old Rob Font these days. He's just not quite the guy he used to be, you guys. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Matsumoto was able to handle him in this spot. And yeah, see, Canadians saying, anyone else think this is Rob's retirement fight with the family going up there? I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. The New England Cartel guys, they're all kind of splintering here. It sounds like he went up to Canada with Calvin Kattar, I guess. I got to confirm that. Somebody said that, so I'm kind of echoing secondhand information there. But I don't think that he's in the place that he was a couple of years ago. He's 37 years old, lifelong combat type of guy. Very well could be his retirement fight. Would not shock me one bit if it was his retirement fight, in which case Gene Matsumoto is the perfect guy to take advantage of that type of an opportunity right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not feeling super confident on that fight because I just think the number is wrong. Even if Matsumoto does pass this test, he shouldn't be a minus 180, minus 200 in this spot. I just don't agree with that based on what my eyes tell me, right? The skills, the matchup, etc. All right, guys. Co-main and main event coming up here. We got Fluffy Hernandez, and he gave us all the scare today. Last fighter on the scale. Looked like he almost missed weight. You can see the ferocious defiance in his face here in this photo. He's a little pale. He definitely had a tough weight cut today, but he got all amped up, and as you can see, he was screaming his face off, and he was moving well. Like, I think he's okay. Usually I like to break out the tinfoil cap. No. He needed that box of shame to make weight, and it looks like it was a bit of a scare, but he made it. I think he's all right. His opponent, Brendan Allen, cutting his hair. What do we make of that? What do we do with that? And he also went blonde. He's another one. He's going blonde. He looks like Guile, like from Street Fighter. Does he not? Like with the flat top up there. These guys have fought before. This is a rematch. And you guys know I'm a Brendan Allen hater, generally speaking. I like Fluffy in this spot. I just think that weaponized cardio is going to be too much to handle. Brendan Allen, I think, has a window of about 3 minutes where he's fresh enough to land like a big shot to the body that could hurt someone like Fluffy Hernandez. And if he doesn't do that, then he's in for the usual grapple fest, because everybody eventually succumbs to the grappling of Fluffy Hernandez. And I don't think Brendan Allen is going to be any different. We've seen in his last couple fights, he starts huffing and puffing in round 2, round 3. He has a hard time going the distance at a high pace. I think he'll survive. This one's chalky to me, you guys. I think it's Fluffy, and I think it's Fluffy by decision. You can get even money on Anthony Hernandez by decision, and I think that's the move. I'm tempted to moneyline parlay him just in case he gets like a ground and pound TKO or a late sub or something like that. But if you want to bring that price tag down, the decision just makes sense to me. We've seen Brendan Allen go out there with some really tough guys and be really difficult to put away. Even when he gets tired, he is very hard to put away. So because of that, I do think we'll see kind of a repeat of that last fight, and Fluffy probably gets a decision win. Yeah. Kevin saying the blonde dye is nothing compared to the lesbian tattoo angle. That's what's up. Hey, I'm telling you, the lesbian neck tattoo angle is undefeated. Angie Hill got the win via split decision last week, but I was fading my own angle with that one, and there are people out there that feel that decision went the wrong way. So do we count that as an L for the angle? I don't know. That one came to the judges. It was close. That's a profitable angle, my man. I'm telling you. Lesbian neck tattoo. Look it up. It's in the history books. All right, guys. Main event time. Again, do me a favor, please, and hit that like button. Song Yadong had a bit of a tough weight cut himself. Now, he's a big guy for this weight class. That's not super surprising. He also had kind of cotton mouth, his mouth hanging open up there, used that box of shame. Henry Cejudo, solid flex, intense as ever, but man, we are a far cry away from the days of Neuroforce 1. If you guys are following me on Twitter, on X, check the photo, man, because Neuroforce 1 Henry was a different animal. Like, my goodness, what they used to do to that man was unbelievable. It was insane. Let me show. I'm gonna pull it up. Let me show you guys. Like, look at this. Look at this. That was my king right there. My God. Now I know some of that's lighting and baby oil getting them all shiny like that, but look at the difference. He does not look like that. He does not look like that here. There is a huge difference. You guys, Ricky's my guy. All right, geez, I keep saying Ricky. What the hell? Cejudo is my guy. I've been challenged by my friend in the chat. We've got a shot bet here because I feel like Henry Cejudo's time has come. He's a little too old. It's a passing of the torch. So I'm picking Song Yadong to win this fight. And so we're doing a shot bet on it. But realistically, you guys, I've said the secret sauce at bantamweight is to take the plus money because on any given night, these guys are all so close to championship caliber. The margins are so thin on these fights that if you're getting plus 200 or better on one of these dogs, you just spam it. That's the way to play it. Look at Merab. Look at Merab again. Look at Merab again. Like that's the key example here. Anytime you get these big plus numbers, though, like when Aljo fought Yan, like the fights are gonna be close. The underdogs are always gonna be live. This top 5 of this division is just unbelievably stacked, and any one of these guys in another weight class would hold the belt. The reason bantamweight is my favorite right now is it reminds me of the glory days of 205 back when Rampage, Griffin, Chuck Liddell, Sugar, like though it was any given night. Any one of those guys could take the strap on any given night, and that's what I loved about it. That's what bantamweight feels to me right now. So I did pick Song Yadong to win this fight. I think the youth, I think the size, I think it's all going to be a problem for Henry Cejudo, who's getting older. And, I wouldn't be shocked if he retired if he took a loss in this fight. And you never want to be holding the bag when a guy hangs up the gloves. Nothing feels worse than losing money and then watching your fighter unstrip the gloves and set him in the center of the octagon for the last time. It's the worst feeling in the world. And it's happened to me way too many times. But the other part of this, you guys, Henry Cejudo is my boy. He was my favorite fighter. And he was my money train. And I would just spam Henry Cejudo money line and Henry Cejudo knockout every fight. Every single fight. Without fail. And he just printed money for me. I know this is a tall challenge. I know this is a tough fight. I know this is a younger opponent. But I am so tempted to go back to my boy Henry one more time just for old time's sake. This would not be like, guys, let me tell you, secret sauce, this is the one. I'm not trying to convince anybody here. This is degenerate Clint saying Henry has got me to the dance, and maybe I owe him one. Like, right? Like maybe, even though I'm picking Song, maybe I say, you know what? For faith, for old time's sake, for my boy, we just ride it one more time. This is a fight where my heart is in it. And when your heart's in it, it's hard to bet clearly because you see things you shouldn't see and you bet on things you want to happen rather than things that will happen. So I picked Song on Monday. And then I saw this. Henry called his shots at the ceremonials. How do I not bet the round 3, round 4, round 5 TKO props on Henry Cejudo, you guys? He called his shot. Henry Cejudo money line is plus 220. Henry Cejudo by knockout is 11-1. Henry Cejudo by KO in round 4 is 120-1. Now, don't you all go blow up that number before I get to it because I'm going to have to sprinkle it after seeing this. I think I got to go, you guys. Like straight up DGen shit here. I think I got to bet Henry Cejudo one last time. I know a lot of people are talking about Song Yadong and like the durability and stuff like that. He has been knocked out before, you guys. If you got to go back, you got to go way back. But before he made it to the UFC, it was in 2016. So obviously a long time ago, he was a younger guy and he was fighting up at 145 rather than 135. So he was actually the smaller of the two fighters, but he did get extended. He ate a flying knee and he got folded over and knocked out in that spot. So he is not like the iron durability guy that people kind of make him out to be. He has been knocked out before and he did get busted open by Corey Sandhagen. He did get cut. He did get stopped that way. It was a cut. So you can't say he was like knocked out. But Henry Cejudo dropped Merab in his last fight. In round 1, he came out and hit him with a bomb in the first round, and Merab did what Merab does. He recovered immediately and came back from it. But again, that's Merab. If Henry still has that kind of explosion, if Henry still has that kind of power, the back class on this guy is just ridiculous. He could win a decision here too, you guys. I mean, just being honest with you, right? Like if he goes to the wrestling, that's a path to beating Song Yadong. Song is not ready for the type of wrestling that Henry Cejudo is capable of bringing. It's just a matter of whether or not that's the game plan. If he wants to drag this kid into deep waters and cook him, and he's confident he can do that, and then get him out of there late, I mean, who am I to say Henry is not going to be able to pull that off? People have been doubting this guy his entire career, and I've not been one of them. I've never been one of them. I ain't starting now. You guys, I've decided. We're going full DGen mode, and we're going to bet Henry Cejudo this week. When I say we, I mean me. You do whatever you want to do, you guys. That is the Undefeated post-weigh-in show, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I have dogs all day on this card. I've got Rafael Sakara, who's going to go ahead and pick the night off for us. I've got Ricky Simone, but I'm chickening out. I'm taking the +3.5 spread. I do have my guy Juice Box, and I'm tempted to add more money on Juice Box after seeing that height discrepancy there. And then I'm going to be adding none other than Henry freaking Cejudo. We will be playing the round 3, round 4, and round 5 TKO props, thanks to him calling his shot Babe Ruth style. Thank you, everybody, again. We'll see you on Monday for next week's podcast right here on the home of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Good luck. Be good. Let's stack chips. Let's make some freaking money this week. Let's roll.